So, Joe Skinkowski, is it Kinskowski? Skinkowski? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I would have left this video in reply to one of Joe's videos, but he's removed them all. Can't imagine why. I'm just looking on Twitter here at some of the things this guy says, and wow. I tried to engage Joe in an honest debate, because for those who don't know, he makes quite a big point out of saying things like atheists are blind fools, naive simpletons, spelt wrong. Atheism is not a valid belief system, which is true. He got something right for once. Atheism requires blind faith. Blah blah. Where's the stuff about evolution? He's declared war on atheism, and atheism is not a valid belief system. Atheists are much like children who hold their breath because they don't want to do something, whatever that means. And he's up to 178 followers on Twitter now, so he must be a real force to be reckoned with. He goes around kind of leaving atheist hashtags on everything that he says. He says things like, evolution is the religion of atheism. Brilliant. So, I gave him a simple challenge on my blog, howgoodisthat.wordpress.com, to give us the evidence, to demonstrate how it is that he has successfully proven, as he claims to have done, that evolution is a false science. And that was on May 22nd. Today is May 24th. No replies from Joe so far. Yesterday, via Twitter, I promised Joe, and I meant it when I said it, that if he provided an appraisal of the evidence which he claims to have gathered for his book, which he constantly tries to sell this book all the time, you see, whenever you ask him questions about what it is where he got his evidence from, he always tries to sell you this book. So I said to him I would buy his book, and I would help him promote his book, actively help him promote his book by putting a banner on the top of my blog, which is a fairly successful blog, directly linked to the store where people can buy his book. I would endorse his book. I also promised him that I would fall to my knees and accept Jesus Christ as my personal saviour if he agreed to present the evidence that he's gathered for his book that proves evolution is a lie. And he hasn't replied. He's decided not to do that. I'm not sure why he would be so selfish as to deprive the world of perhaps the most important scientific discovery of all time. Certainly the most important scientific discovery since Darwin first postulated the theory of natural selection, which has still since been sort of verified beyond a reasonable doubt by every other area of biology, chemistry, paleontology, geology, you name it. But that doesn't bother Joe. None of that bothers Joe. All that bothers Joe is that, let's see what his latest tweet is. Atheists are blind fools, naive simpletons. Which is just brilliant, Okay. I'm sure some atheists are blind, naive, simpletons, whatever, But it also tends to be true that a lot of atheists have thought about, certainly, the central tenets of the Christian faith a lot harder than any Christians have. And I'm not entirely sure anyway what on earth that has got to do with the fact of evolution by natural selection, because clearly if you wanted to disprove that with theology, it's a complete non sequitur. I'm fairly convinced, in fact I'm absolutely convinced, what am I trying to say? I'm absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt convinced that Joe really hasn't thought about any of this at all. But he keeps going around making a fool of himself, interrupting conversations between other Twitter users, and here he goes again, buy my book and you'll see that you are wrong. Brilliant, No clue whatsoever how journalistic peer review works whatsoever. He just says, buy the book and you'll see that I'm right, by which time, of course, $12.99 is in his pocket and everybody's happy. Complete charlatan. I don't think for 1 second, actually, that Joe believes any of this stuff either. I think he's sort of thought to himself, oh, if I behave like I really believe it, then people who really do believe it will believe me too, and we can all be rich. He's a fucking idiot. But it has to be said, he's tenacious. He's a brilliant self-publicist. I would highly doubt that he's actually read any of the books that he claims to have read. It always amazes me when creationists say, "Oh, I've looked at the evidence of evolution, and what about the gaps in the fossil record?" You know, it's like, oh, if you've read the evidence for evolution, you would know that every single fossil in the fossil record is a transitional fossil. You know, it's like they don't even realise how much of a fool they're making of themselves when they say these things. Because they really haven't actually read any of these books at all. They've just decided that they are right and everybody else is wrong, regardless of evidence or facts or logic or common fucking sense. So Joe, if you do actually watch this video all the way to the end, all I've got to say to you, mate, is I wish you all the luck in the world. Whatever gets you through the day is fine by me. But you really have made a bit of a tit of yourself in front of people who were just trying to get you to present your evidence. If you've got evidence to present that you claim to have in your book, it should be publicly available. If it's compelling enough in a summary, people will want to find out about what the main body of the work is all about, and they'll buy the book anyway. But if you just say to people, "You've got to buy the book, otherwise you'll never understand," then you just look like a dick.